The other day I was sitting there. I was streaming. I was having some fun. I was playing normally, and then it hit me. Why can't I win this game? What's happening right now? What could be going on that's causing this issue? And then it striked me. I have a Mercy pocketing a Bastion who doesn't know how to play Bastion. An E couple. The couple throwing everybody's games. These people just queue together. And I'm like, dude, what is happening? What causes this? What's making this happen? And then I thought about it. Why don't I dive into this? Why don't I find the issue out on why we have so many E couples in our games ruining it? Why can't they just play like a normal couple? Why don't they hang out in real life sometimes, So then I was like, let's figure this out. Let's look. Let's see how this works. Do people online get the same affection as those in person? Are people getting the same mental stimulation? Are they feeling the same things but through a screen without seeing each other? So I wanted to dive into that. So let's do it. Let's see if they feel the same stimulation as everybody else but through a screen. Let's figure this out.
It's the weather for the world in a minute.
Alright, so to start everything, we first have to discuss what exactly I'm going to be doing. So there's this theory we've been studying in my interpersonal communications class called affection exchange theory. Now, the description word for word from our book, I'm going to pop it up on stream, but I'm also going to read it to you real quick. It's a theory based on the idea that affectionate communication is a biological adaptive behavior that evolved because it helps people provide and obtain valuable resources necessary for survival. Now, that may just sound something like, oh, you give money, you get something. That's not entirely it. See, the actual thing is just from little things, right? Take your partner or your friends. Imagine you give them a hug because they feel sad. What that does is that makes them happier. It's that kind of thing. We need it for survival. We're creatures meant to show affection, to love. We're built to love. And these things can range literally from just simple I love yous to just to hand holding, to hugging, to all of that. It can even be as small as just doing, helping someone with homework, right? Because it's building social bonds. It's building social connections between one person and another. You see, when I first heard this, I was really confused, right? It didn't click in my brain, the definition, so I had to really dive deep into this, right? And what I mean by dive did what anybody does nowadays. I went to ChatGPT because Google wasn't helping me as much. I went to ChatGPT, I typed it in, and I was like, explain this, but super simple. Super simple, because I'm not understanding it. Because sometimes things get jumbled, right? Sometimes we struggle with things, and that's okay. To put it simply, we receive and give affection to build bonds with another that helps us survive. Affection's actually really good for us. It helps us. It's very needed for us. And this isn't, affection just isn't something we just randomly started doing one day. I mean, researchers take, for example, Corey Floyd here. He found that showing and receiving affection is actually good for our health, too. Because what it does is it actually lowers our stress and lets us live longer, which is what? With lower stress, we also have, higher immunity, so we get sick less often, that kind of thing. Which I guess in turn lets us live longer, because we're not going to be getting as sick as easily. So basically what I'm saying is our body's rewarding us for loving and being loved back. And the thing about this is it's not just some simple, oh, you have to be in a relationship. No, think of just a friend or a family member, a pat on the back, a hug from your grandma, anything like that. That's affection. That is helping us. And so I was like, man, all these things are face-to-face related, aren't they? So what about those people online that are they're throwing our games? They're going 2-11, and they're just meowing back at each other. They're just sitting there. They're just talking. They're E-couples. They don't actually see each other in real life. It's some Discord relationship, right? I was like, are they actually getting that affection? And so I had to dig, and I found research, and I actually went to VR chat, but we'll get to that later. I mean, think about everything we do online nowadays, even for the friends we know close, right? Think about everything, right, that we do online with one another. We send memes, we text each other, we call, we send snaps of what we're doing. We're keeping people updated with our life. This, in a sense, is showing affection. You're sending a meme to your friend showing, hey, this is funny, I think you would like it. You're calling them, you're discussing things with them, you're chatting, you're updating, you're expressing. That kind of stuff still counts. If you think about it, you know? It may not be physical, but inside it's still helping us. We're showing affection, we're giving affection, right? It's still building trust and closeness between you and your friend. And science also backs this up, as, I hope I'm not butchering this, Molstein in 2020 found that online affection can trigger the same emotional and biological response as in-person affection, especially when it's intentional. So even if you can't physically hug someone, you can still give some sort of affection through a screen by doing any of the things I just listed. So what this means is, as Molstein said, this isn't about distance, it's about connection, right? It's just about the connection between one and another. It doesn't have to be physical. And so I was like, okay, besides like Overwatch and Valorant and all those things you hear, where can I go to really find people who are online 24/7 that they're probably receiving and giving this type of online affection and not in person? And then it hit me. What's the one horrible place that you see online all the time that scars you with videos you've seen? VR chat. And if you don't know what VR chat is, imagine a social media platform where everybody is an avatar of who they want to be, and they talk. They don't message, they actually talk. And because of this, they can wear VR goggles or something to kind of give that really realistic experience. So some research I found actually from Krell and Wetman, they studied how people in VR chat and found that users often sync their movements and mirrors body language, right? Because, you know, you got the VR goggles, you got the hands, so you actually like can sit there and fucking do whatever you want, right? You can start punching people in VR. And because of this, people actually, they found, experienced genuine emotional closeness. Even though none of it's happening in the same room or close by and they can be continents away, they're experiencing the, like, genuine connection with another person. And with this comes people like this.
Please back away from
No, it's not.
And I find out who it is.
I find out who's throwing them tomatoes are getting bad.
Got here.
So
What
sorry.
happened?
Someone keeps throwing.
For the rest of you guys that are here, Floofy, she has phantom sense. No throwing tomatoes. She's allergic. Even though it's her avatar,
It
she'll
still
have,
affects her.
It will still affect her. I don't know if you guys know anything about phantom sense.
She's like very connected. Like she can feel anything.
She thought she was having an allergic reaction because a VR tomato was thrown at her. So people really get in depth with this stuff. They really feel connected. So with that, it's like, okay, some of these people think they have what's called phantom sense. Let me just show you clips.
It's bothering me a lot
How so?
because it's irritating my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking a knife on your eyes. I guess it would, yeah.
Because I have phantom pain!
Do you need a doctor?
I'll be fine. Husker can tell you how high my phantom sense is. Honey, explain how strong my phantom sense is.
A doctor can't do anything about it. Basically, the more time you spend on VR, the more your mind's going to get immersed. Like, let's say I could do this. She would feel it. Or if I tickle her like this.
Yeah.
Oh, who the fuck is this?
Honey. Hey! Get him out! Get him out! Get him out! No! Get him out! Get him out! Get him out!
So if we add everything we've talked about recently with how people give affection, what if we add in the thought of if your brain thinks, your body thinks? Meaning, if your brain thinks you're actually hugging someone in VR chat, or holding hands, or getting a tomato thrown at you, does your body actually feel it? Can you get that type of affection? Because, I mean, people online, or like people in long distance relationships, they'll call, right? They'll call at night, they'll sleep on calls, and it gives that kind of, you know, simulation that they're there next to them. What's so different if you think you're getting a hug, you know? So we're really gonna dive in. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna interview some people in VR chat. I got this whole thing. Trapper and I got so much footage, and it's all gone. So this is what's left of what I had to reshoot.
And sometimes people wear scary stuff. That's why I have everybody looking like a robot and they're muted. So unless, you know, I decide they're safe to unmute, I'll unmute them. Because sometimes people wear spiders or like super scary stuff. And I'm not a fan.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh, that's...
Aiden, where are you? Look.
Yeah.
Are you Charlie Kirk?
Sir, would you be willing to do an interview today?
Hey, could I interview you guys for something? So I'm doing a college final, right? And I'm doing affection exchange theory and how that can be translated into the online world now. Kind of like, just talking, texting, and I thought VR chat would be a good way to kind of, ask some questions about it. So I was curious if you think that could be translated into, the online world, because obviously in VR chat you see people, they cuddle, they do all this stuff, right, with their like VR suits. So I was curious if you think it can actually be translated.
Probably.
Do you feel like you can be as close to somebody in in VR as you do on? Okay, gotcha. And then the second one I have is this is the last one. It's about so have you seen the clips online, like the thing people have called like phantom sense or phantom pain and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Do you think that that's actually like something that they're experiencing, or do you think it's just like a thing of the mind, like the mind thinks, the body feels type of thing, or do you think that's like, how do you think that
Probably
that is?
probably a thing of the mind. I don't really believe that phantom pain exists. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah. Do you think people can experience the warmth they do, but online? So like, instead of getting a hug, they'll like their friends will just talk to them. Like, do you think that could be translated the exact same? Like, you get the same amount of affection online as you do in person, like mentally.
Are you saying like right now or just like in the future?
Like right now. Like, do you think people right now can get the same kind
Currently
of mental
not,
satisfaction?
No. I don't think right now. Currently, no.
So do you think that can be used online? So instead of like getting a hug online or hug in person or holding hands with a significant other or just talking to your friend, do you think online it can be the same, like, doing calls while you're sleeping? Do you think that can have the same mental like benefits?
I feel like, yeah, like if you would constantly call the person and text them and you're like close to them and you know a lot about them, and it's like, yeah.
Okay, so you think that things such as just like emojis and stuff, kind of really expressing yourself even though you're not there, you think that can have the same kind of mental stimulus, like help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like we me and them, we know each other. IRL. So like, but we also talk online and so like, and I still have the same like shit with her.
Thank you. And then the last question is about do you know like the clips and stuff of like phantom sense, phantom pain, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Now, I was curious about, do you think that like that's an actual thing people experience? Like, do you think that helps them helps with affection exchange theories to where they think like, because it's like a mind thing, right? Like if your mind thinks, your body feels. That's when people think they're sick, they feel sick. So do you think that helps them in that way because they feel like they're actually, being held or holding somebody's hand type of thing?
I feel like no. I feel like maybe if you know the person like long enough, but not if it's like someone you just met and you're like, yeah, we're gonna be, yeah. I feel you. No, you don't.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for that interview. So everything I've just shown, all the footage and questions, this is where affection exchange theory starts to expand beyond what the original researchers imagined. They didn't imagine this would happen back then. They just thought it was closest between people. They didn't know what could happen, There's so much. Because it's not just about hugs or holding hands anymore. Humans will always find ways to show affection, even if it's doing it online and not in person. In simpler terms, after I asked ChatGPT, I was thinking, and it's kind of like animals. Think about it. You pet your cat purrs, and from there, your cat will, wag its tail, headbutt you, do any of these things. And if you really think about it, that's affection exchange theory. They're giving you affection after you give them affection, right? And it's something that makes you happy. And dogs, you pet them, they get that face with their tongue out, and they just drool, and they look so happy, and they wag their tail and all this. I went and pet a dog in my grandma's yard and I was attacked by it. I have gashes all over my stomach and wrist now because of it. Affection exchange theory. So after we've discussed all this in the interviews, I was like, I want to get a kind of different connection, a Twitch connection, a Twitch and a streamer, right? Streamer and an audience. And I was like, who could I ask? And thankfully, I had just the person. His name is Chris, also known as Cochard on Twitch. I love the dude. He is amazing. He is so kind. He connects with his chat. He gets 100 plus consistent viewers on Twitch, and he hasn't even been streaming for like a year. And he remembers all these things about his viewers, and he builds genuine connections with them. And so I wanted to ask him his thoughts on this and how he felt. And he was so nice as to let me interview him. So enjoy this interview with our surprise guest, Cochard. And everybody go make sure to check out his Twitch. I'll put it in the description. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask you the questions I asked them, then I have actually a couple for you. So the question was, do you think people can kind of receive the same amount of like happiness or like relief they might get from someone in person as they can online? So instead of getting a hug, it's just like a text or a call. Do you think that can kind of give off the same amount?
I think that's probably more than likely like a per person situational thing. I think some people like talk about like love languages between people, and some people like associate with physical contact like a lot more than others. So I think with hugs and physical exchanges like that, especially maybe in like more, is this like also alluding to like relationships or just friendships platonically?
Everything.
I think it probably would be per person, but I think like me personally, I mean, the older generation would probably have like more of a disbelief in the amount of affection that can be spread just through like online relationships. I've met some of my best friends through just online spaces. It's nice to meet up and do things in person, but the majority of our exchanges have been online, and they're still some of my best friends to this day. I don't know. I'm a little in the middle where it's like certain individuals will stimulate more from physical experiences, but I think that you can have all the same kind of level of like love given through just online exchanges.
Next question. Do you know like phantom sense, phantom pain, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that. Do you think that's like an actual thing they're experiencing, or do you think it's because they're so like online and in it that they've imagined it? Or do you think this is actually something like, do you think they can actually feel when somebody gives them a hug, or they cuddle online virtually, or when they get punched?
Some individuals with like sensory issues, I'm sure that's a little bit of a different topic, but like, yeah, flashing lights, sensory issues can kind of affect your physical body more than phantom sense. I see phantom sense as more of a joke, an online meme. Yeah, I think if people genuinely, I didn't even know if there was people that were genuine about having phantom sense. I think if there are people that are, I think it is something that they have developed through being chronically online.
You're actually really close with your community, which is great. You rarely see that a lot, I feel. I mean, look at some of the bigger streamers, it's hard, like they don't even interact with their chat half the time. So it's great how close you are, and you haven't met them face to face, but in a non-parasocial way, do you feel like you do kind of in a way know some of these people, and do you feel like in a not parasocial way, like kind of close?
Yeah, and you could even describe it in a parasocial way for some. I mean, I know that the parasociality, even if it's not shown, it exists within a lot of chatters, right? And I don't think it's as much of an issue as people claim it to be. It's only an issue when people start to take matters into like doing insane things.
Yeah.
It's the same with like people's obsession with just celebrities. A girl has Justin Bieber posters all over her room when she's like 15, and nobody bats an eye. They go, oh, she's a big fan.
Yeah.
But as soon as she's watching someone who's niche or not on that level, then it becomes weird. But I think the biggest difference there is that I am responding to them, mm-hmm. and I'm giving them answers to their questions and relating on topics with them. I do a lot of things with my community to stay in touch and know about them. It's definitely overwhelming at times because there's like thousands of unique individuals that I try to remember things about them. I mean, Cheeseburger42 comes in a chat and I ask him how his swimming lessons went. And somebody goes, who the hell is Cheeseburger42? It goes on like that. I can name all the real names of people that consistently are around, but yeah, I could tell you, it's weird in my brain that I could probably list off about like 1,000 characteristics about
Yeah.
people who I haven't met in person.
So for the final question I have was, do you feel like you get quote unquote affection that could be related to affection exchange theory? Like affection that makes you feel good and happy because people get that from your streams, because, you know, people will just watch your streams if they're having a hard time, or, you know, they're just like interacting with you. Do you feel like you get kind of the same satisfaction when streaming? Like, do you find yourself kind of like, if you're having a bad day, do you find yourself kind of happier when you're talking to chat and talking to them?
Yes and no. I think some days chat makes my days harder, and some days it makes my days easier. I think it's a weird space because if I am having like a genuine, really hard day, it's not something that I want to come on stream and talk about. I get a lot of messages talking about how it's nice how they can get away from their shitty day and come to me having high energy and good vibes. So when it comes to me being able to be fully expressive on stream, while people may not like to hear this, I don't. If I have shitty things go on, maybe I'll glaze over them really quickly and mention them as to like maybe why I'm really late or why my mood might be down, because I need some sort of explanation for that. But I don't really go in depth, especially if I'm having like family issues or anything, etc. like that, because that's not what the majority of people come to watch, and I wouldn't feel like I'm doing my job at that point if I did that.
Pretty interesting stuff, right? I mean, and I think the concept's super interesting. I mean, with everything we've learned and how it's connecting to online, I thought it would be just great to make a video about this. Like, yeah, there's definitely some strange people out there, but they're building genuine relationships, some of them, and it's actually affecting them physically. It's not just physical anymore. Everything can be done online. So why would affection be limited to only in person?